Hey everybody, so I did move ahead a little bit. I did some more work in his face, obviously. Did some detail work in his eye. Laid in a chrome tooth. What I'm doing right now is I'm just lightening up these side pieces because I want to take and lay some of the blue in here. I also worked on the dent in his head, which is not done yet. So there's still some work up there to do. Just basically been putting in details that needed to be there in the way of more accurate details. Like with this piece here, it's not a piece that's just sitting on top. It's actually attached with a rivet at each end, and there's like a big gap underneath it, so I still have to put the gap in there yet. Things like that, right? Just to make it an accurate piece. So like I said, right now I'm just lightening up these side pieces here. I want to be able to lay a little bit of a blue, like from up in the top of the helmet. I want to add a little bit of that blue into the side pieces and the back. So I'm just laying a very thin white over it right now, just to lighten up that gray so that the blue will stand out a little bit better. And I'm only doing this on the top part of it. And the white gradually lightens up as it goes down. Sorry about that, it's been kind of busy outside my shop today. And because this is more of it's a steel, it's not a chrome, the reflections are not going to be anything like they are in a chrome. They are much, much more subdued. I'll have to give that a quick white before I paint on that. Yeah, that works pretty good right there. Okay, I need to give that a white and then I'll be right back. Okay, got that cleaned up. So I'm going to do the same thing here. This one here, there will be a little bit of a highlight on that top edge. I'm going to go back through and tighten up all the shadows in that here afterwards. Yeah, most of the time when I'm doing my stuff, I end up, my shadows are usually the last thing I do. But I mean, I do work them all the way through a piece, obviously. Now, this one's going to be a little bit different because this piece actually sticks out and curves. So the highlight, the brightest point on this piece is going to be right in there. So I'm going to spin this around. Sorry, you're going to be upside down. Almost upside down. We'll go that way. So we need to highlight to really show that this is sitting at a different angle from the actual chin guard. There. So now you can really see how that kicks out from that other piece. I'll actually brighten up this as well, just to make it step forward up here too. Sorry about that. I was just answering a message there really quick. My apologies. Okay. So I think that works in there really nice. Now I'll go in and I'll add the cobalt blue back over top of some of this white. So I'll just load that up and I'll be back in a minute. So as you can see, I've kind of jumped ahead a little bit with some details and stuff. So I finished laying in the rent in his helmet where he got hit with the axe and the broken bone underneath. Detailed out his eye a bit more. Just some nicks and damage and stuff like that. Just wanted to get ahead on some of this stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I want to lay some texture into the helmet. So all of the metal areas of the helmet, not so much this one, this will be more of a padding in here, but anyway, like out in here, all of this stuff, I want to add just a bit of texturing in there. So I'm going to use my Gerald Mendez mini stencil. And I'm going with a little bit darker gray than what's actually on the piece. I want to darken the texture up a little bit, but I don't want to go dark. I just want to kind of model the steel. Just adding a touch of texture to it. Make it look a little bit more used and abused and old, because obviously this guy's been using it for a while. He's dead. And notice how I'm just doing like one quick pass, because I just want a little bit. I don't want it to get way too dark or anything like that. The way it looks like right now, like it's starting to look like it's got little dents and pits and stuff like that in it, and that's what I'm looking for. And we're also going to do that down here in his armor. Just like I said, just to simulate pitting and age. Liking the way that's looking. Still want there to be lots of the painting, just not too dark. There we go. That looks really good right there. So I hope you can, yeah, I guess you guys can see that. How that just changed the whole look of the helmet, made it look more aged. Just by doing that. Okay. I'm just going to figure out exactly what I want to work on next year. I'll be right back. Alright. Okay, I did jump ahead here a bit again. The tutorial got really messed up here. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I've weathered out a lot of the skull and everything here now. I've got to finish up the shield. So everything that I have to do in the shield is basically the same as what I did here. So you'll be able to see the technique I used and everything, and that will apply to everything I did over here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to spray this section down here, because this is actually a painted emblem on his shield. This is going to take 2 or 3 coats to make it turn yellow. And then once this gets yellow enough, I do have to put a black outline around the feathers. And this is an actual emblem from a real Roman shield. Like I said, everything that I did on on the skull is going to be the same exact things that we do on the shield here. And that was just basically like the nicks and the cracks and the scratch marks and just basic weathering, pitting, stuff like that. And that's all stuff that will end up being done in the shield too. Because of course his shield's going to be beat up even worse than he is. Okay, there we're starting to get yellow. That'll stand out really nice on that shield now. All right. Okay, I'm just going to clean that brush out because I don't need any more yellow. So I'm going to clean that out, take the magnets off, get this off of here. And I can show you all of this.
Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid of Giza, known as mustard hills, these rock formations made of piled-up heaps of sandstone become scattered over thousands of miles of desert. They were made between 8,500 and 4,800 years ago, containing the remains of animals that might have been viewed as offerings. People may have created these structures for ritual purposes in the Neolithic era.
Okay, actually let me slide this over a bit. So I can do that without killing anything. There we go. So I've got I peeled the other stencil off, put the center part back on, cut a border around that, laid that back on. So now we're going to spray the black. So this is just for the border around the yellow. And then once this is done and dry, then we can start beating the crap out of the shield. And that, like I said, we'll be using all the same techniques that I used to weather the skull and the helmet. So that means we're going to be using a Gerald Mendez texture stencil. Okay, now we'll pull that off and you'll be able to see what that looks like with the border around it. Gotta love magnets. Alright, there we go. Yeah, that worked out very nicely. There. So with the black outline on there. Okay. So like I said, if you take a look at, let me zoom in there now, and there you can see just the bit of texturing that I put into the helmet, just to make it look more beat up, more aged, right? And then of course there's the edge of his skull that you can see inside where he got smacked. And so next we'll detail out the edge of the shield and all of that piece. Okay, so let's put some texture in this shield. Now, like I said, I'm using Gerald Mendez texture stencil. This is one of his mini, and this is the texture I want to use up in here. Excuse me. So what I'm using is a red brown, like almost a rusty kind of color that I want to use on this. I'll have to go a little heavier on the red to get it to show up. There we go. On the yellow you can go pretty lightly. And it's just the red that needs a heavier shot so you can see it. And you can get a little closer, a little farther away depending on the texture you want. So I'm going to actually add a little bit of texture up in here close, not so much in the yellow, maybe a little bit. There we go. And just go until you feel that you got your texture about where you want it. So most of the time I'm about half a centimeter off the surface when I'm doing this. But that is the same way that I did the texture up in his helmet and everything, just with a different background, with a different color obviously. In this case we used the red brown. When I did his helmet I used a gray, Same with the sword. Actually, with the sword, I think I used a really, really thinned down black because I wanted it to look a little bit more pitted. So now the next stage to do here is to go in and highlight the edging in there and maybe work a bit of a shadow on that edge of the red to start giving it some curvature. Yeah, so we'll do that again here right away. Okay, so just wanted to let everybody take a look at this guy here before I clear him. He's all finished up. He's ready to go. Clear coat's the next stage. So I will do the clear coat, and then I will shoot another small video to let you guys see what it looks like when it's done. And then that way you've been able to see the progression all the way through, other than the stuff that I ended up doing over on Facebook and that kind of thing, right? And like anything that you guys missed, go back over to the Facebook page and feel free to watch the videos over there, because anything that wasn't done here as a tutorial is done over there. And yeah, sorry about the breakup in that one area of the tutorial too, where it's really spotty. We were getting a lot of noises and stuff outside here that were really wrecking the video. So, but anyway, like I said, so this is before clear. Now I'll do the clear coat on here, and then you guys will be able to see exactly how he looks when he's all finished up. All right, okay, and I'll be back once I'm done clearing this guy. Okay, so here we have the Roman. He has been clear coated, polished, and basically ready to hang on a wall. I don't know how well you guys can see the polish on that or not. You can see the reflection from my hand, but that's, your polish should be just shiny, shiny, shiny. You should be able to see everything around you in the painting if you're doing it right. So anyway, I will get this all edited out, get it posted for you guys so that you can see the last part of the process. And please like, share, and subscribe. Next tutorial is actually going to be on the Iwata maintenance kit. They are definitely something that's worth having if you run an Iwata airbrush. And that should actually be up within probably 3 days or so. I'll have that one up. So anyway, so paint used in this was all House of Color. Airbrushes were all Iwata. Substrate is a Dibond aluminum panel. And maintenance kit for the next one. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you got something out of it. Please, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will get back to you. If you have any ideas for future airbrushing tutorials that you'd like to see, again, leave that in the comments and I will definitely look at them. Alright everybody, like I said, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching KO Airbrushing Tutorials, and we'll see you next time.